Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to FRL. We are here tonight on a Tuesday night, of course, as always, for FRL F1. We are here tonight, of course, for round number 6 of the championship as we take in the Belgian Grand Prix from, of course, the historic Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking to the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Tuesday evening. And joining me in the comment box, it is Mr. FRL Yuri. Yuri, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing very good, mate. Belgium, well, it's uh, it's a very fun track for battling. That's of course one thing, but also in the quali, it's very hard to get it just right because it's just such a long track and it's very easy to invalidate just at one corner.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I certainly have had my fair share of commentary already this week. I did PSGL F2, of course, last night. And Belgium is one of those tracks where I think on this game the drivers either love or they hate it, and it's no other comparison in between. They either love it or hate it. The curbs do catch people out, as you were alluding to there. Also catching people out as well is the oversteer, and the outside curbs especially coming through Pouon, through the Fanya chicane as well. Those are going to be, I think, the real test points, certainly in qualifying for the laps. And speaking of laps, we had a 142.1, I think, for Paul in PSGL F2 last night. So, if that's anything to go by, we could creep into the 41s, dare I say, maybe from the likes of Jensen and Tom.
Yeah, I mean, it's if it's one person that can do it, it's probably Jensen or Tom, and I mean, it is possible for 41, but I mean, we still need to look for the weather because there's, of course, it is Belgium. There's a big chance of rain.
There is a big chance of rain, and yeah, PSGL. I keep on saying PSGL F2. F2 last night in that league that I shall now not for mention on this stream. I covered the race obviously last night, and it was very overcast, and I honestly thought it was going to rain. It came over very cloudy in the last 4 laps of the race, and I was honestly convinced that it was going to start raining all for it for the sun to come out on the final lap of the race. So you can't really believe what the weather is going to throw up here, of course, in Belgium. Looking to the driver's standings, we have got Jensen now joining the lobby. There's only 8 people in, which is a bit of a concern at this stage, but we will run you through, of course, the championship standings after Imola. Jensen, of course, taking his 5th win of the season, including the sprint race win, of course, that he had in Britain. Jensen leading the way on 128 points. Macho there in second on 82. Metzi in third on 59. Second, by the way, last week was Tom. He's there in fifth on 36. Just 2 points behind the man who did get his podium at the end of the day. It was CPI Bunty that got third at the end of the day in Imola. Drove a fantastic race. Maybe more to come tonight as well. In, I think, one of his more suited tracks at Belgium. So watch out for Bunty in this. Keki also is fifth, by the way. I've just noticed a bit of a hoo-ha, let's just say, on the driver's standings because Keki's on 37 points, even though he's behind Tom, who's on 36. So whoever's done the standings, you're getting fired, I think, put it that way, as Keki's in fifth, Tom there in sixth, Rocco 7th on 28, Waterman the 8th on 26, and then Ivo and Charlie ran off the top 10. Papine, Dara, Lou, Zero, and Chris top 15. Lou is back, by the way, tonight as well, which I'm delighted to report in there in 13th on 10 points. And Ruti, Ryan, and Hawk are the only drivers that have scored points so far this season in the drivers. But Yuri, Jensen, of course, won last week in Imola. Macho had an absolute disaster in the final half of the race. In the end, finished all the way down in P8. On 82 points, he has got a big mountain to climb, even at this early stage in the season.
Yeah, I mean, the gap between him and Jensen is, I believe, 37 points. So yeah, it is a big gap. I mean, Jensen has one full. I mean, he can probably get P3 every race with Macho winning, and then it will still be a very safe drive for him. But yeah, Macho just needs to outscore Jensen every race for this point on. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking at my on the left hand side, by the way, 15 people now in the lobby, which I can report, which is very good indeed. That means we can run through the constructor standings as well. And the constructor standings is actually a lot closer than what one might imagine. AlphaTauri leading the way on 138 points. Of course, Jensen has been the main point setter in terms of that. Mercedes there in second on 119 points as well. And there's only 19 points separating. So a race win for one of their drivers, obviously, can take them above AlphaTauri if AlphaTauri have a really bad week. Alpine there in third are an absolute chasm behind at this stage. They're 60 points behind on 59 in third. Ferrari in fourth on 51. Red Bull fifth on 48. Haas in sixth on 41 after their strongest result, of course, of the season from Bunty. McLaren there in seventh on 34. Then Williams eighth on 32. Aston Martin ninth on 23. And Alfa Romeo in 10th. Still, I can't believe it, on nil points. We have got Toyn obviously in for the Alfa Romeo team at this stage. I'm not sure who's going to be joining them in that car. Certainly, I can't see anybody in the Alfa Romeo on my left-hand side of my screen. But AlphaTauri leading the way, of course, Yuri, 19 points over Mercedes. And currently, with Jensen being at the helm, they've got a significant advantage over everyone else, you would think.
Yeah, I mean, just saying, I don't know where you got the standings from.
I got it
Because
from the spreadsheet.
oh yeah, I mean, I think the because I got it from the app, and Mercedes are only 11 points behind. So
Oh, wait, what?
I think from the companion app, and I think those are the update because Macho also is P3. Of course, his penalty got removed after the race. So I think
What? That's stupid. That's
I,
stupid. Whoever's done the spreadsheet has given me the wrong standings.
I don't know which one is the updated one, but I believe it is the companion app one.
The companion app, which I don't have access to, which is great.
Oh, oh. Well,
Hang
I
on.
mean, still, AlphaTauri and Mercedes are quite far ahead of the rest of the field. So yeah, I mean, they are looking to dominate, but it's very close between AlphaTauri and Mercedes. But of course, AlphaTauri has Jensen and Zero, who, of course, we also said it last week, has to score some more points because Keki and Macho are two very fast drivers who are always battling for podiums. So yeah, it's important that AlphaTauri gets those points, and Zero definitely has to score every week, or at least a few weeks, like a top 7 to keep AlphaTauri in the constructors championship.
Yeah, definitely so. So basically, what we're saying to our viewers is, as qualifying I think is about to begin, which I can report is good news. So it gets me out of a big hole, that's for sure. But whoever's in charge of the spreadsheet, please update them before next week because Jamesy does like to use the spreadsheet because I think it's a bit fancier than getting a whole list basically on my OBS, which is what the app does. And the app obviously has its real advantages, I've got to say, in terms of being a driver and being obviously an admin. But I'm glad to report we can now get going into the racing. 7 kilometers in then, 4.3 mile. Thank God, 2 DRS zones for the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Of course, 19 turns course away now. Drivers out on track, and 2 DRS zones. Of course, one down that start finish straight in towards La Source, and then one, of course, down in towards the Canal Straight, down in towards Lake Combe chicane, and then in towards Malmedy, of course, that part of the track. And it is a very historical circuit. Obviously, you can now see it for yourselves as we now transition into the lobby. And the best thing to report early on, Yuri, is beautiful blue sky. Well, beautiful blue sky. Well, sunshine, but not beautiful blue sky.
I mean, I don't think it's going to race looking at the weather right now, but yeah, I just hope for maybe a bit of rain, in the race because a rainy race here around Spa-Francorchamps is always good.
It is always good, and we've only got 17 drivers as well in the lobby. I have been informed, or I've seen on the F1 channel, that Mr. Tom is running a little bit behind schedule for WR. So obviously qualifying has taken place there for the Legacy division. That is why he is there. And also
Oh,
a big report that I have just seen, and I think you were going to say it at the same time as well as me. Apparently there's rain in the race.
Yeah, and I don't know if he means the full race or maybe a part of the race, but yeah, it is going to rain. So I mean, I'm already happy now.
I'm not. I'm not. I love a dry race around here at Belgium, and I think the weather gods, and certainly not on our side, that is for sure. But at least it's a bit different to PSGL F2 last night, where we had a full dry race and a full dry qualifying as well. We have got a full dry qualifying. It's blue sky and sunshine actually here in Belgium. Macho was the first man out on track as well. And looking through the poll, by the way, that is neatly being put up by myself. Looking at your votes at this stage, who are you predicting for Paul? Well, certainly not Tom. The 36% of you that have voted for Tom, I'm sorry, but he's probably not going to be in this qualifying session unless it's going to be just for one lap. We've also got Jensen on 33%, Macho on 17%, and somebody has decided to vote for Bunty. 17% of the votes.
How big is the chance that it's Bunty himself?
It probably is. It's probably Bunty's following. Is it his mum and his nan and everyone else who probably watch this stream every Tuesday night? They'll probably be voting for Bunty. But honestly, do not count him out. I think this is one of his stronger tracks as well. And I thought Imola was one of his stronger tracks. So Belgium, obviously going to be up there. Obviously, he's now in PSGL F6 as well, which is good for him. And obviously, you can hull him in on them. But Macho, obviously, now the first man out on track. He is one of the favourites, I think, to take pole position. How can he try and back up what he did in Imola, even though we did get that penalty removed, or got the penalty added in the end, and therefore Bunty did pick up that podium?
Yeah, so I got another one. You lagged all over again. I don't know.
Apologies. Can you hear me now?
I can.
You can. Fantastic. I was saying, Macho, what does he have to do in this race?
Well, I mean, pole position, it's very important, of course, around here, because it's not a long sprint, of course, after the start into turn 1. So yeah, he really needs to get a pole position, get a good start, and try to stay ahead of Jensen. And he also needs to hope that Jensen maybe makes a mistake, so he can gain a lot of points on him.
Yeah, that's right on board with them actually coming down in towards turn number 1. I have just figured out that my, where's my TV remote? I can't find my TV remote anywhere. I was going to turn up the volume so you guys can hear. Oh, it's over there. I'll try and reach it while I commentate through Macho's first sector speed. Coming down in towards Kennel Straight, down in towards Lake Om. It's a 29.7 through the first sector, which is already up there in what we were seeing last night for the first lap in PSGL F2, which is very good from Macho's perspective. Coming out of Malmedy on the run there down in towards Bruxelles. Hopefully you can hear the car engines a little bit clearer now. Unseen, by the way, in the comment section saying, "Evening, Mr. Head, hope you're well." Yes, I'm doing very, very well indeed. Currently commentating a matchup coming through the Jackie X corner on the run now down in towards P1. And this is actually, look, like a very, very good lap so far for Macho. He's got it hooked up, not too wide coming out of P1 as well. This is looking neat for Macho.
Yeah, I mean, for now, it's looking like a very good bank lap for him, but let's see what does he do in the second sector. It is a 1:14.3, so it's a really good lap from Macho.
This is going to be around a 42.3, 42.4 if my theory is right about obviously the laps from last night in PSGL F2. But Macho coming through Blanchimont on the run now down to the bus stop to Payne's, a little bit of traffic ahead of him. That traffic better get on the move as he comes now through the final corner. Oh, right to the curb, very nicely indeed. The Haas in front of him is just done up on a lap. Might go for the 42.3, 42.48 range. Perfect, 42.3. Beautiful lap for Macho. That is clean as you like around here. Anybody else coming in behind him? Lou is backed off on his lap through Puon. Charlie's coming to the final corner as well. Interestingly, he's on a sort of medium compounded tyres. Obviously wants to try and get the lap times in later on. He goes second at this stage. Chips Munster also on lap. Torn is invalidated. Ryan just starting up on 1. And Bunty also invalidating this lap as well. With Jensen out there, he's actually just coming through turn number 1 and invalidated at 42.4.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's looking, well, I don't think he is pushing now, but I don't know why he kept going then, because it's not looking like any good lap from now on. So yeah, that's not good, of course, from Jensen's perspective to get that, of course, on your first lap and get no banker in for now.
Yeah, plenty of invalidations actually on the first run. We've only got 3 valid times at this stage. As soon as I say that, 4 valid times now with Chips Monsters Flying going in third. But Macho's out on top by a good second, well, 1.2 seconds actually over Zero in second, Chips Monster in third. Rocco, an outside shot potentially of Paul as well. He's in lap in the McLaren as Watermelon now goes second on 43.1. Rocco was going through the first sector quite quickly. Through the middle sector though, he's just invalidated out of P1.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Macho, who's now, of course, 8
Oh!
tenths ahead. This is really looking as
Rocco spun.
McLaren. Ooh,
Yeah, Rocco
and that's
spun.
very
Yeah.
unfortunate.
He was down on his lap, but he got caught too much on the curb on the right-hand side, and that, from my experience, and certainly from the experience of the guys last night, was, if you ride that curb too much, you're going off pretty much into the wall, and maybe even out the session. So Rocco has fallen foul, unfortunately, the Fanya chicane first.
Yeah, and yesterday in FRL, it was very tricky because it's always, this track is one of those tracks you can stay the exact same line, and one time you just drive through it, and the other time you just spin. So it's a bit of RNG.
Yeah, it's... To be honest, around this track, there's another spinner coming through Puon now. I'll try and bring it up to you. I think that was Marco, if I'm not mistaken, through the middle sector, coming through Puon, the other McLaren. I've always coming through Puon in through the Fanya chicane right now, and he's actually not doing too bad in the first sector. He's a 29.9, I think, in the first sector, and Ivo was actually backed off a little bit in the middle sector. 15 flat in the middle sector, though, was still not too bad at all from the Ferrari. It's Mako out on top, Watermelon in second, Zago's out in third at this stage in qualifying, but Ivo currently on a lap. He's in towards Blanchemont. He's the next one to actually set a valid lap time on the board, or potentially set a valid lap time on the board to be neatly secures the bus stop chicane, which is through the right-hander, through the left-hander, has many variations at its time. Current variation, though, is different, and Ivo now goes third behind his teammate by 2 tenths per second.
And the Ferraris are looking pretty decent for now. Of course, we still need to wait on Jensen and Rocco and all the other guys, of course. But yeah, they are looking very strong, especially the last few races in the qualifying, and of course in the race where they've scored some consistent points.
Yeah, and this man that I'm on board with now, MedCC, this was his only point score in the F1 Esports Challenger Series, so I'm not expecting good things from MedTC at this point. He's probably hating me right now, because I know he's been working out at the gym. I saw something in Discord at the weekend about it, that he's been working out at the gym, so hopefully he doesn't fly from Finland to England and come and punch me in the face for that comment. From MedTC into Puddle of Sauce at turn number 1. He has got good experience around this track, though. That's basically what I'm trying to say. He has got very good experience around this track. Very good in terms of his pace as well. He could be an outsider for pole position as well. Coming through Erosion Radion up the top of the hill there. Through Kemmel Corner. Now on the run down the Kemmel Straight. 210 mile an hour you can gain on the run up in towards Lake Holm. Maybe even a little bit quicker for MedTC. Through the first sector. 29.9 in the first sector is a little bit off.
Yeah, it is. Macho did a lot better than that now. Into turn 10. Into, of course, a bit of the hairpin. And it's looking not that great, but he's not invalidated yet, so on that perspective, he's doing better than other guys.
Yellow flag, by the way, in the middle sector is the Conga line that's going down the Kemmel Straight. MedCC, though, coming through Puon, not looking too bad at all. He's actually picked it up a bit, I think, in this middle sector compared to Macho, so it'll be interesting to see if he can negotiate the Fanya chicane, which he can't because he takes too much curve on the right-hand side, sends the car around, and MedCC, unfortunately, that is his lap done. That falls foul of many drivers in my time at Belgium. MedCC now claimed the victim of the Fanya chicane.
Yeah, and that's already the second one, so if it's true what you say, we can see a lot of more guys spinning there.
Yeah, definitely. So Papine, by the way, is coming through the middle sector, and he is around about Macho's pace, 14.3 in the middle sector. The Dutchman not doing too bad here, of course, formerly of CPI. I think he's now left CPI, of course, and he's actually returned to the FRL, which is very good to see from his perspective as well. But Papine now coming in towards the final couple of corners. This is on par with Macho's lap. This is looking really, really good from the Red Bull man. Of course, the track evolution will come towards the end of the session. Papine now on the run towards the right. Is he going to quicker than Macho? No, but goes second. Only a tenth and a half off him, though. Not too bad.
Yeah, that's actually pretty surprising from Pepijn, especially as, of course, the last few races he didn't get the best results. But yeah, it's a, a very good, let's say, return for him after leaving the league.
Yeah, definitely. So Jensen, by the way, coming through P1 as well. One of the favourites for Paul tonight. Macho currently out on top, Pine in second. Watermelon there in third, as we've seen improvement. That's Lou going third, and Lou's pace actually. He's had physiotherapy. He was saying to me a little bit earlier on, he had physiotherapy with his foot. Foot problem? What foot problem? 42.5 in the middle sector. Jensen has just been validated through the middle sector at 14.2, dead on that was in the middle sector.
Yeah, and that's the second time Jensen has invalidated his lap. So I don't know what it is, but it's not looking good for now for our championship leader.
It isn't, and I think, obviously, he has got very good pace around here, and he just wants to try and hook up a lap, but he gets into his head sometimes where he's not doing good enough in qualifying. Bunty, by the way, is coming through the final corner. He looks to go fourth, I think, with this lap on the run to the line. Just falls short. Goes sixth, 43.4 from Bunty. But back to Jensen, he gets in his head sometimes, and I see that with many drivers, actually, in FRL, and indeed in other leagues as well. It's across the whole community, where drivers just get into their own head. They think they're not doing good enough when they actually are. And that, I think, is a stigma that League Racing carries. We see another improvement. I think that's Keki going fourth, if I'm not mistaken, in the Mercedes. But I think it's just a stigma that, obviously, it's a mental thing rather than an actual physical thing. They get into their head sometimes. It really knocks their confidence. And Jensen is a prime example of that. Because I remember WR last season, where he was leading the race. He had one spin, and then everything fell apart. He got into his own head, and unfortunately got disqualified from that race as well. So Jensen is a capable driver. We know he's capable. He's leading the championship, for goodness sake. He just needs to try and get a valid lap in. That's all I'm saying. As Matey C also went fifth.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Watermelon because he is coming to the chicane, the bottom chicane, and to the line. He has 2 tenths improvement in sector 2. It is a 42.8, so that takes him to P4.
Yeah, not too bad at all. VAR Leon, by the way, who I know very, very well from the EML team, VAR, of course. Leon, is there any way to join FRL? Now, I know that one of the VIR boys, I think, is reserve at this stage, if I'm not mistaken. I can't think of the top of my head who it actually is, but there is already a person in. And Leon, yes, there will be pace, I am absolutely certain, in terms of getting reserves. I mean, we've only got 17 drivers here, so the likelihood is you're going to be filling in as a reserve pretty much every single week, I think. As the car begins to build over the circuit, Macho leads the way, Papine in second, Lou in third, currently in qualifying. Charlie also saying there is hoping there's enough rain in the race to have a bit too much downforce, and Charlie, I think, pretty much putting on that 45.1, his current best time in the middle sector. So it's getting pretty black out on track.
Yeah, it is. The clouds are really coming now. But yeah, by the way, I think it's Daniel who in the league, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it
it.
is. Ah,
So,
and
yeah.
I have been informed that we've got to restart the lobby after qualifying.
And why is that?
Because Papine has joined and he isn't a driver in the league anymore. Which is why I said he was formerly CPI, he's now back in FRL. I should check on my notes.
Wait, so, wait, what? Wait, yes. Let me have a look.
Mano has just sent that to me on Discord, by the way, so yeah. Which, if that is the case, because I know he left, I think, was it 2 weeks ago, or did he leave last week after Imola? I think it was last week, where he left the league, and he said he was quitting league racing for the second time, I think this year, and yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. I mean, he's capable on his pace, but obviously if he's not a driver in the league, then we come back to the Tom scenario in Monaco.
Yeah, and as I'm just looking at. Yeah, we will do a lobby restart then, and just kick Pepine whenever he joins.
Yeah, thank you very much, by the way, for Mano for informing me of that, because that's the first I certainly saw of it when he mentioned that in the comments. Ivor, by the way, is preparing up for the lap. He's actually out of sync compared to everyone else. Mr. Tom is also here as well, so he can get a lap time in just in the nick of time, actually. As long as he loads in within a minute and gets out within a minute, he should be fine for one lap, maybe to try and blitz everyone in terms of pole position as well. But Ivor's on the lap, the FRL man down in towards Rouge and Radion, up the hill there through Radion, now through the Kemmel corner, down the Kemmel straight, Dutch corner on the left-hand side. Ivor now in towards the right-hander of Lecom. 29.9 in the first sector, not too bad, but he is a 10th off.
Yeah, I mean, Ivo is what teammate in P4, so he really needs to try and gain a few tenths here in the middle sector. For now, it looks very good. There's a bit of traffic. I think that's 0 ahead of him. So let's hope he goes out of the way, as he had a big snap there on the exit.
Yeah, that was a huge snap coming out of Vic's corner and now coming through Q1. He has got a bit of trouble ahead of him. As you say, that is Zero, I think, that is ahead of him. And he better watch his wingmans very quickly indeed, because he's not getting out of the way, is Zero at this stage. Ivor there right in behind the AlphaTauri. The AlphaTauri's probably looking behind and thinking, oh my god, just get out of the way for goodness sake. And now Zero realises he gets out of the way, but to what extent? Ivor was already 8 tenths per second down.
Yeah, and
Alfa Romeo was spun. That's Toyn, I think, sorry.
Yeah, and I'm really afraid for Zero that there might be a penalty coming his way.
Yeah, that is... It's blocking in qualifying, is that what it is, I think. And Ivo, by the way, has just got out of the way of Zero. So, checking your wing mirrors is important in racing, in qualifying as well, especially on a track like this. And Zero clearly needs to get his eyes tested.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Ivo can do another lap. I think he does, but
yeah, he will.
Yeah.
Easy. He will. It was like 38 seconds, I think I had that, or was that 58? No, 50 seconds. Yeah, he's got plenty of time.
Actually, he's not. He's
back in.
I don't know what he's doing, but okay.
Is he coming back in? No, he's preparing up for the lap, is he? No, he's back in.
No, he's just slowly over finish straight. To start finish straight.
He must be preparing up for another lap. And I think Watermelon actually is in troop of 4. And I think Watermelon's actually just came off his lap, so maybe a little bit of slipstream. That's what's going on. Jensen, by the way, purple out of everyone in the first sector, 29.7.
Yeah, he really needs to get a good lap here, because one invalidation is that means Jensen will be starting from the back of the grid.
Yeah, definitely so. Indigo, by the way, apparently is also going to be racing, so it could be up to 19 drivers potentially as a result, as Jensen runs wide coming out of Q1. I saw that. I hope he's going to back that off, because it's still valid, as Rocco's came to the line to go 7. Charlie has crashed actually coming through. Wow, that's actually on the run down in towards Q1. And he must have recovered the car quite a long way, actually, coming out the corners. Jensen invalidates through the middle sector.
And that was the only thing he shouldn't do. But now he's starting from, I think, P16 for now. It depends on what Tom can do. He just joined and he is also invalidated. So Tom, Jensen, both of them starting at the back of the grid.
And that means the likes of Nacho, the likes of Papine and Lou have got to try and improve, and Lou is absolutely flying on this lap. 2.5 tenths up in through the bus stop chicane, coming through the left-hander. This looks good for the Dutchman to go provisional pole for now. Lou on the run to the line, 42.1. How do you like them apples? Macho's 400s down, coming out the middle sector. He's now a 10.5 up, coming out the middle sector. So this is going to be extraordinarily close, and he's got slipstream ahead of him. Techie is giving him the slipstream, and this is going to be the deciding factor in provisional qualifying at this stage, as Macho gets the slipstream coming out of Blanchemont, now on the run down the bus stop to Kane. This looks now on for Macho to take pole position. Will he though? Because Lou was so good coming out of the bus stop chicane. Think we are down on OBS. No, we're back. There we are. Apologies about that. We cut out slightly there. Macho in the end, 42.1 out on top. Lou there in second, Pine and third. Marco is down in his lap. He invalidates and he is down at the back of the field. But it is Lou. Sorry, not Lou out on top. It is Macho out on top. Steals it from Lou right at the absolute death. 69 hundredths of a second. You can have a big old giggle about that if you want to. Macho though out on top. the Indian driver, so be it. I think it's the first time we've ever had an Indian on pole position in F1, but Macho's out on top, Lou there in second, Papine there in third. The Red Bull's actually coming alive here in Belgium. Metisi in fourth, Watermelon in fifth, with Keki in sixth, Chips Monster seventh, Rocco in 8th, Ryan in 9th, Zero top 10, Bunty in 11th, Ivo in 12th, Toyn in 13th, Charlie in 14th. And you can take a screenshot, by the way, if anybody is taking the qualifying results as well. Pelly, Jensen, Marco, and Tom, 15, 16, 17, and 18, and they're starting right at the back of the field. And especially from Jensen and Tom's perspective, that is not good news at all in their pursuit, potentially, for the championship. But we are having a restart at the end of this qualifying session, and that is because Papine, of course, has joined, and he's not meant to be here, even though he was formerly a driver, then wasn't a driver, then came back, and then wasn't a driver again.
Yeah, as I'm going to leave the lobby. Why? Oh, I can't. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
So I will leave the lobby, and if I hope any of the drivers can give us the weather, that would be very nice.
Well, it was a dry start, so I'm imagining it's going to turn intermediates about halfway through the race. That's what I would imagine. But yeah, if drivers do give them that, oh, I need to switch off the pole as well because qualifying's over and done with. I need to turn off the pole, which might cause me to lag, so I apologise if I do. And I will try and talk and do this at the same time. It will literally be quick, so hopefully it does come back and OBS hopefully doesn't go down. It is literally scraping the barrel with my laptop at this stage, so hopefully everything is going to be okay. We are going to be kicking to find out, that is for sure. And while you guys are going to have a look, let's have a look at the driver's standings while we look at that. Just going to end the poll. Give me a second. It'll literally be about 10 seconds until I'm back with you guys. Tom apparently took the poll victory with 35% of the votes. Jensen on 25%, Macho on 25%. So well done to the 25% of you who did vote for Macho, and Bunty there on 15% of the vote. Unfortunately, the Bunty fans didn't get that right. 20 votes there in the end. But Tom got top of the poll. Macho, though, top of qualifying.
Yeah, and I mean, that's especially when Tom and Jensen are down at the back of the grid, it's a very important one. So I'm really looking forward now to a comeback from Jensen and Tom.
Yeah, definitely so indeed. I think we've got IRT Indigo potentially racing as well, so that might actually bump us up to 19 drivers here tonight as well, which is very good news. And while I'm at it, of course, you can like, comment, subscribe, and tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the FRL channel, if you are tuned in for the races for the very first time, or if you are wanting to race for the very first time as well, like Leon was a little bit earlier on. Obviously, we will get him signed up, I am sure, or he will sign himself up, I am sure. And then, of course, get him in the league whenever necessary, which I think will probably be next week as we go, of course, to, I'm just going to quickly check, Netherlands, which is your home race.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, their home race, looking at the grid we have now here in F1.
Yeah, which is not too bad. I mean, Macho, looking at my driver standings anyway, we've got Macho, Watermelon, Ivo, Lou. Could you call Pine Dutch? I guess not. He's Belgian. But yeah, there's a few drivers. There's a few Dutch drivers, but I think the Brits sadly outdo the Dutchies. I'm preparing for war, I think, on that one. But there we are. We are in the lobby, by the way. Just in the background. Hopefully, people can still hear us. I can't hear Yuri. I'm not sure if he's gone quiet on my end, which I think he might have. But Jensen still leads the way in the championship on 128 points. Macho in second on 82. Of course, Macho taking that pole position. And Yuri, if you are here, Macho on 82 points behind Jensen. That is exactly what he needed, I think, in this qualifying session on pole. Jensen down, I think, in 16th position. A huge gain for Macho potentially in terms of the championship.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is probably the part where Macho needs to gain those points, those important points that he has to gain probably every weekend from now on. So let's just see. I mean, it's probably the most important race of the season for Macho now.
And is it the most important race for Jensen as well? Because obviously he's had 5 wins this season. He's been on the podium every single time. Belgium in qualifying has got him completely out of its comfort zone, starting as far down the field, I think, as being perceivably possible in his FRL career. And I think the only time that he's been probably closer to the back is where he's probably started, last to first, if he's ever done a last to first challenge. So Jensen has definitely got his work cut out. So this is a crucial race for him as well.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, I mean, it's probably a crucial race for everyone because, especially at the top end, because we are almost at the halfway point. And as I'm looking, by the way, James, I don't know because I got the weather real quick, but it's Jensen says clear, clear, then clear, clear, overcast, inter, overcast. I can only put 3 things in, so
Oh, were you on a different setting, perhaps?
I don't know.
I know you can press triangle and you can go through the different things, like expert and standard and casual, I
Yeah,
think the other one is.
I'm expert, but when I can change the weather, but only 3 times. So that's
Well, if we could only do it 3 times, then I suggest we spice things up and just go clear, clear enters. Is that possible? Oh, clear, clear rain. Is that possible? People are gonna hate me now if that's the case. But yeah, hopefully we do get the weather. Hopefully we do get something at least from that perspective. And looking at what has been said as well, Papine has said that he asked Bunty apparently if he could join. Now, Bunty obviously owner of FRL, and if that is the case, and if that is perceivably possible, and Bunty has let him race, then why wouldn't you give us the heads up first before he actually raced, and then we had to do all of this again?
as
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, and certainly doesn't sit well with me. And I'll have that crystal clear on the stream for everyone to hear.
yeah, as Jensen says, clear is literally 95% of it. So
Oh, so it's literally going to be the case of if it's going to rain, is it going to be the last lap or something?
yeah,
That's what it
I'll
sounds
just
like.
ask. So clear, maybe clear, clear, overcast, something like that.
Yeah, clear, clear over Castle work. If those were the first three from the original lobby, then I would suggest, yeah, that'll be perfect.
And
But
we
yeah,
also need to do the grid. So let's see, Macho Lou, Matty C, Watermelon, then we have
oh, and apparently as well, Ivo now can't join the lobby. Oh no, Ivo was in the lobby. But apparently he says a CPI guy has blocked him. So I don't know why he's
and
still in the lobby.
I don't know who's Chris and who's Slinky. I don't know what.
Chris and Slinky are reserves, I believe. But
Okay, we are missing Ships Monster. I think that's
yeah,
the one.
Chips Monster was originally in the lobby.
Yeah, where is Ships Monster?
He's not
That's
here.
hmm.
And we're also missing someone else as well. I've just spied. I don't know who it is.
Well, then Rocco Ryan, Bunty, no Zero, Bunty, Ivo. Then we have
Is it
Toyn.
Oh no, I was saying is it Marco, but it's not.
So we have Toyn, then Charlie. Then we have Belly, Jensen, uh, Marco, and Tom. So we only missed Chips Monster.
Yeah. And then we've got Slinky and Chris in, who, by the way, didn't join the original lobby, so therefore they should be invalid to race. And I will say that
Uh,
crystal clear on stream as well.
did Jensen leave or did he? Wait, what? Okay, no, he's right here. Why did Jensen pop up into P5? Well, that's also.
Oh,
Oh,
somebody
Ships
left. Oh,
Monster.
Chips Monster's here. There we are.
There we go. Okay, so Ships Monster. into P. Let me have a look. I
Oh,
think it was.
Papine. It was Papine, and obviously he's not racing, is he? Oh my god.
So Chef Monster into P7. Jensen ahead of Marco. I think Slinky is then P18, and then Chris P19.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I'm assuming they're being allowed to race. I personally think they shouldn't.
Yeah, I also think it's a bit weird, but
I mean, if they come in, if one of them come in and they win the race, then I am gonna go pretty crazy at the end of this race if one of them
yeah.
wins. But
Uh,
there we are. There we are. Anyways, we are getting going. Apparently, according to our according to our lobby screen, all of that. Hopefully, the lobby is set up correctly by Mr. Yuri. Hopefully, nobody is out of position, and if anybody's out of position, then we're gonna have to restart again.
yeah, I don't know who says ready. I hope I clicked it just at the right time there. So let's pray, because I just saw it in the end, and I think at 1 second, hopefully well, I don't know the English word, but hopefully it has saved. So otherwise, I think we might have a lobby restart.
Yeah, definitely. And hang on a minute. There we are. But 30 seconds out, I think the formation map is on. Is it on? If I'm not mistaken, I get confused sometimes.
I
It is
think
on.
it is. I
It
mean,
is. Yeah.
I really hope now that the settings are good. And I don't know what the weather was on. I think it's clear, clear, clear. I believe so. So
Well, yeah, it looks pretty similar to what we had in the first lobby, which is not too bad. Um, And yeah, I've also had my opinion, by the way, in the commentators chat for anybody that is in that chat. If they want to hear my opinion on things, then they can go and do that as well. But looking through, Charlie saying is the only one without a teammate, and Marno there in the chat. Bunty apparently didn't approve Pine joining the lobby, so obviously he's joined because he was in the group, and I'm assuming because he's seen the races obviously on. Then I'm assuming that was the case, and that's why he joined. As Bunty has left the session.
yeah, I think
And
the group is wrong.
yeah, and we've got another 30-second countdown because of that as well. So hopefully everything's going to go according to plan. If not, then I don't know. Oh, apparently the weather's wrong. The weather is wrong, apparently.
Yeah, but the grid is all wrong. But
The grid is wrong. Apparently the grid is wrong.
I think
Is it? Let's
yeah,
have a look. Yeah. No, it's
yeah,
not, is it?
yeah. It is Keki in P12.
Oh, Tom and P8. Yeah,
Keki in
Tom's P8.
P12. It is.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
Tom and
but
P8. Oh, God, I don't want to invite people. I don't want to invite friends. I just want to quit to main menu. Thank you very much. There we are. And once again, hopefully third time lucky, we're going to get the lobby restarted.
But why did Bunty say ready up? I wasn't even
Yeah,
done.
if people obviously have a real mania, I will put it as, of saying ready up when you've got to check the settings first and foremost, and surely you would know better, especially if you're on the league.
Yeah, just I'm informing Bunty.
But yeah, anyways, it's not the best night. Let's put it that way. It is not the best night. On a plus side, though, what I can give a bit of an update is Leon has joined the FRL server, which I'm glad to report. Of course, he is going to be racing, I think, next week. Zook said he could join the voice call if we needed, and we could have a red flag graphic as well, which is possibly perceivable, I think, at this stage. But he could join if he wants. He could join if he wants. I don't mind. He can be our Ted Kravitz to Martin Brundle and James Allen. How about that? There we are. There's already a drive of the day being put in as well. Oh, it's just a daft message put in for the drive of the day. Drive of the day, I think, is going to be the F1 22 game. I think at this stage. But yeah, there we are. There we are. People saying they're hating Papine. Yeah, Papine, I mean, joined when he shouldn't have, and that caused a bit of mayhem. And obviously, if that wasn't the case, we would have had a perfect qualifying, and we would have been going in the race by now, and probably halfway through.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
there we are.
But did people say that the weather was wrong? Because then,
Yeah, apparently somebody was saying the weather was wrong, even though I think there was more. I think there was more cloud cover, if I'm not mistaken, at the start of the race in the first lobby. So I'm not sure, but it looked okay to me at least. But then again, I'm I'm only a commentator. I don't have an opinion apparently. So there we are. Oh goodness me. Anyways, I'm now getting into the lobby once again. You can have the drivers standings up for the third time tonight as well while we do load into the lobby. And everyone is now selecting a car, and apparently I can no longer see people joining in their teams. I can only see colours.
why? Yeah, I still need to do the lobby thing. Just 1 sec. And there we go. Everything is right.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I can see the team names now. I was getting very, very concerned there. Um, Papine isn't registered, basically being revoked. Yeah, Papine I get, but Chris and Slinky, now, obviously they're down as reserves, which is it's totally fine, but from my perspective, you don't see PSGL, you don't see WOR bringing in reserves halfway through a qualifying session in the background, not informing the commentators, and then it's brought on you right at the pass saying, oh, these guys are racing, by the way, and they didn't join the original qualifying session. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yes, I can check one more time. I mean, I can only do 3 slots. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, which I guess is it's fair on your part, but drivers are still going to complain, aren't they? So either
Probably.
yeah, get over complaining and just go for the start the race. That's what I would say because I think these guys, our worthy viewers, who I'm sure are tuning out by now because I'm going on one of my good old rants. Um, Obviously we are going to be going very soon indeed. But personally, from my perspective, Chris I know was race once this season. I can see him there on the graphic. If they haven't turned up for qualifying and they've turned up 20 minutes late, what does that say? Answers on the poll copy. Do you want me to put another poll up so you can answer that?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It's just what's perceivable in the human brain. I don't know. I'm honestly on the verge. That is it.
Okay. I will do the Brits then. Let's hope people won't ready up this time. James, can you maybe tell everyone in the F1 Discord chat that we will just do a full clear dry race, so I can do this.
I can. That means going on Discord and perhaps things lagging. Hopefully though
Oh,
it's going to be all okay. Um, we have 20 minutes until. Yeah, dry will be the whole race. Yeah, so Rocco wants it on basically the same weather as what it was, and Bunty has said in the F1 chat that it will be the whole race will be dry because we've only got 3 slots of the weather, so that's fine.
yeah.
That is
So
fine.
we got
If the league owner says that, we're taking it on face value, and we can put the blame on him if it doesn't work.
yeah. As Rocco, is he in? Or
Rocco is he at the bottom? No, he's not in actually. Hmm.
okay. Ryan 0, Ryan 0. Then we have Bunty. Just try to do this as quick as possible. Behind Bunty with iPhone and Tone, then Charlie and Pelly, Charlie and Pelly. Then we have uh Jensen, Marco, Tom, Jensen, Marco, Tom. Oh, Rocco is here, so Rocco up to P7, I believe. There we go. So we have Watermelon, Keki. Okay, so let's just Macho, Lou, Matt TC, Watermelon, Keki, Chips, also Rocco, Ryan, Zero Bunty, Ivo, Turn, Charlie, Pelly, Jensen, One Marco, Tom, Chris, and Slinky. So those are confirmed, and the weather will be full dry and.
Hang on, let's have a check of that again. Macho, Lou, Papine, top three.
Not Papine.
Oh yeah, Macho, Lou, MedTC, top three.
Macho Lou, Matty C, Watermelon, Keki, Chips Monster, Rocco, Ryan, Zero, Bunty, Ivo, Tone, Charlie, Pelly, Jensen, Marco, Tom, Chris, and Slinky.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, the weather is full dry, so realistic, everything should be fine now.
Indigo, by the way, is also asking for an invite in the chat. And I think he was down. Was he down to race Indigo? Let's have a look. I think he was. But people are getting very annoyed. People are getting very, very annoyed. And the decision has been made actually for Slinky and Chris not to race. Apparently,
Yeah?
yeah, and that is because they didn't turn up to the original lobby, and it's a fair argument. You can argue with this with me with this if you want. Chris and obviously the other person, they didn't turn up for the first lobby. They were late. We
So,
restarted. They shouldn't be allowed to race. They weren't in the original lobby. It's simple as. What
wait,
league does that?
who said that? Who
That
confirmed?
was from Lou, apparently, that I saw.
And, I mean,
But I'm gonna ask for a full agreement on it before we do it. Oh, absolute. We just want racing. We just want racing. I feel for you guys who have been waiting. God knows how much. You've probably been sitting on your backsides as more time as what we've been doing, sitting at the lobby and just complaining for the last 20 minutes or so.
Bunty is the Bunty is the owner. He says, I don't know. I say we just go. So for one last time, the weather is full dry. The grid is a-okay. So James, if you can just say that we can ready up, it is all good to go. Chips,
Yep,
Monster, Rocco, Ryan, Zero, Bunty, Ivo, Tim, Charlie, Pelly, Jensen, One Marco, Tom, Chris, and Slinky. There we go.
there we go. But yeah, Jensen currently leading the championship. Macho out on top as well in second. He's obviously out on top in qualifying. And we are now getting going for the third time into the race. And hopefully this is the last time as well, because it'll probably be the last time you're going to be seeing me in FRL for a very, very long time to come after tonight as well. But, of course, Belgium is on its way. We have got Macho, of course, out on top. And Macho, obviously, out on top in this qualifying session, from qualifying now into the race. What does he have to do? Because Jensen obviously is there out on top in the championship, has got an unassailable lead at this stage, but Macho out on top, Jensen down in 16th position. This is going to be big for Macho and indeed big for Jensen. This could be this could be the race that decides the championship right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most important part is for Macho to get the win. I mean, he's starting from P1. Jensen is starting from the back of the grid, so this has to be Macho's race to stay in the championship fight.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. Indigo as well saying, has he got an invite? No, I don't think Indigo got an invite in the end. Even though we are letting Chris and Slinky race, we should let Indigo race as well, and let's just restart the whole thing once again if we want to do that as well. But yeah, Charlie is explaining, I think, what is on my mind certainly, and probably on everyone else's mind that is watching this stream and probably thinking, "My God, I could run something better than this." You probably could. I've been serious. You probably could. And Charlie's saying, yeah, I'm not going to repeat on the stream, but he's basically saying everyone's opinions, I think, at this stage. Certainly, from my perspective, certainly if you've been wanting racing, this is now the time for you to tune in rather than tune out, as we are going to get going very soon indeed. For the Belgian Grand Prix, third time's a charm. It's only 8 o'clock. We started late anyways, and now we're even later, and now it's 8 o'clock, and we are getting going for the 22 laps out on track. The formation lap, of course, is on, and that now means drivers have got a free choice of what tyre they can go on as well. The majority of drivers actually following the same pattern as PSF2 last night as well, going for that set of hard compound tyres. Bunty, Ivo, and Marco in for that set of medium compound tyres, and interesting actually with Bunty being in the top 10, he's the only one in the top 10 on that set of mediums.
Yeah, I mean, let me get the tires on. Yeah, so I think starting in hards is a pretty good choice. I mean, especially when you are in the top 10. But Marco on those mediums, I really expected him to gain some position. Same for Ivo, and I'm also, James, especially after last week, looking at Watermelon before this time on the grid. We know his starts are probably the best ones in FRL, so he can maybe get a surprise lead of the race into turn 1.
Maybe so, but he's on a set of hard compound tyres, and I think that's what's not going to get him off the line as well as what he has done in previous weeks. But if he does get those good starts, we can obviously say it's not the tyres that he was on in the Silverstone and in the Imola races. It was, indeed, his skill level off the race start that does put him in P1 by the end of the first corner. But with it being such a short run down in towards turn 1, Yuri, La Source, I think, comes at you about 200-metre run down in towards turn number 1, I think it is around here. And Watermelon has got to use all of that 200-metre run to try and get the run down. And it could end up being, like 2012, Hamilton and Alonso getting together and then a car flying over the top, like we saw, of course, I think it was Fernando Alonso and Kamui Kobayashi who got put up in that incident as well. It could possibly end up like that if Watermelon decides to dive it down the inside of everyone else.
Yeah, and also looking by the way at this. Oh, you know what? Never mind. But James.
Oh, there's a McLaren round in the background.
Oh yeah. Oh, Rocco and Ryan on this queue, but they're almost at the grid. Let's make our top 3 predictions.
Top 3, I am going to go for an absolute wild and wacky top 3. No pressure, guys. I'm going to go for Jensen for the win, Tom for second, and do you know what? I'm going to go for Lou for third.
Okay, I will go with Macho first, Watermelon actually in second, and Lou in third.
And here we are. We are getting going now. 5 red lights going out here, down in towards the source, down in towards turn 1. Watermelon already glitching on my end. 5 red lights now on, and it is, eventually, I hope, lights out and away we go. Macho gets a very good start. Watermelon's very good off the line and actually passes Lou down in towards turn 1. He's already down the inside, in towards La Source. And Watermelon does it again to the inside line in turn number 1. Does he lead coming out of La Source though? MTC's now alongside him. Got forced out wide was Lou and Keki, who now in third and fourth. Macho got forced out wide there and all that as well. But Watermelon does it again with an absolutely ridiculous start. It's side by side in the background between Chips Monster and Lou. Coming out of a Rouge and Radion, and that's a hard hit into the wall from Rocco. He bounces off into the wall and bounces off into contention, and Watermelon now has got absolutely done down the straight because MedTC all of a sudden is in the lead of this race. Keki now in second, Watermelon in third. He got a really good restart. Bunty now around in the background as well, but MedTC leads the way. Keki in second, Watermelon in third. Not for long because there's Macho down the inside and towards Bruxelles trying to get the job done to the inside line. Slinky is off in the background of shot as well. There's been huge con and fuel come. That's a VSC deployed out on track, and MedTC leads. Keki in second, Macho there in third. Watermelon got the great restart. He just didn't have any pace down the straight.
No, I don't know what it was, but Watermelon is running a very, very high downfall. So maybe he forgot the setup. That could also be a thing. But yeah, it's now Matty C in the lead as Chris has a 5-second time penalty. So it's not looking good for Chris as Link who joins.
Yeah, and Metis got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. We're back underway, back to green flag racing, and Metis spun! Metis has spun through Stavolo, and Macho now could end up in the lead of the race because Keki hadn't taken aboard in action. Macho all of a sudden has got damage though. He's got right side end plate damage on the back of Keki, I think, in toward Bronchmont. What on earth is this race here in Belgium already? Keki leads the way, Lou in second, Watermelon in third. My graphics are all over the place on the left-hand side. The timing screen is all over the left-hand side. Marco's in the pit lane behind Macho. And all of a sudden, Jensen already is P6. Pretty much half the field are coming into the pit lane, including Tom, who's in the pit lane as well. Jensen's already up to P6. Keki leads the way, Lou in second, Watermelon in third. Well, this is FRL.
Yeah, I mean, I think a half of the grid has just pitted for a new front wing, so that isn't the best thing to see. But yeah, Lou, he is very close to Keki, and Watermelon is also very close to Lou. So for now, the top 3 or top 5 actually are very close to each other.
Watermelon is so close to Lou on my screen. He's 1 minute 56.3 seconds ahead of him, apparently. Watermelon then third. Chips Monster makes a mistake coming out of Malmedy as well, and now Ivor's down the inside line of him, with Jensen trying to follow through as well. And Jensen, I'm not sure, he's got damage there. Got very late on the brakes in towards Chips Monster, on the back of him through X corner now. Keki leads the way, Lou in second. Finally, the graphics are starting to fix themselves on the left-hand side. They will fix themselves by the end of the lap. But Keki leads the way, Lou there in second, Watermelon in third, Ivor there in fourth, Chips Monster in fifth, Jensen there in sixth. In all the controversy, in all the drama before the race, after the race, I think it's going to be very interesting indeed. Not only because we've got God almighty how many things to sort out, but also the drivers are going to be very, very angry.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just...
Let's just continue.
Yeah. Let's just continue. But Macho is not looking good, as I think that's Bunty. Oh, he probably spun there on the exit on the inside curve, but Macho, he needed this win against Jensen, but if he sees Jensen now in P6 and him in P14...
Oh my god! Marco has just lost it in front of Macho. Somebody cut you off there. Now Macho's going to have the run at Marco. I think has lost his front wing entirely. Certainly left side end plate went off in the car. And yeah, it is left side end plate damage for Marco. Hit the curb on the inside, coming in towards Campos through Stavolo. Hit on the inside of Stavolo. Unfortunately for him, bounced off the curb, straight in the wall on the other side of the track. And that is Marco now, all the way down the field. He's going to be in last position. And do you know what? If I was him, I'd retire as Lou goes for the lead.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened with Marco, but that was a bit weird. But yeah, Lou into the lead. Keki, it doesn't look like he has any sort of pace. He's really struggling to drive away from Lou, and now he's ahead of Watermelon. And Watermelon, he has gained a bit his pace back a bit.
Yeah, he has gained his pace back a bit, certainly. Jensen there in fifth is obviously on the back of Ivor as well. We've seen him move further down the field. That is the rampaging Tom, who got caught up in an early collision. Not sure what collision it actually was. There was another yellow flag out on track, and that's actually, I think, for MedTC. MedTC is round, coming through Jackie X corner, just where we're getting to now, on board with Tom. I think the car's back going again, unless he sent it round coming through Huon. Yeah, he's just got back going again in the foreground of shot, just ahead of Macho. Tom now is easily ahead of Pelly, and Tom now in 14th, and Matey C, I think, has got damage on the car, and he must do, unless he's just got so much grass and so much absolute dirt on those tyres. They're going to act really, really poorly at this stage, and he's got Pelly on the back of him as well, who so far actually, who got caught up in a collision, Pelly so far hasn't spun.
No. That's actually true. I mean, he's doing a very good job now, but who's also doing a very good job is Jensen and Zero, because Zero in P7, he's driving a very good race now.
Yeah, definitely so. Jensen on the back, Arrival, 4th and 5th position. This is going to be the easiest move you'll see all night, I think, because Chips Monster around in the back when is out of the race, and Jensen might just get this move done before the safety car comes out. He does indeed. Passes Ivel down the straight, down the Camel straight. He's into 4th, Ivel there down in 5th, and the safety car neatly deployed just after Jensen got that move done.
Yeah, and I saw that I was at that exact moment on board with Chips Monster. He just lost it in a rouge and slammed his car into the wall. So yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. But now I'm really let's see, because Macho on his mediums, he has to pit. I don't think you can go mediums for almost 21 laps. I don't think that's possible around here.
No, impossible. They only last around 10, 11 laps, I think, the mediums. The hards are perceivable to get to the end of the race, but if there's another safety car later on the race, why would you go for set of hard compound tyres now, as opposed to going maybe for set of mediums if there's another safety car later on in the race? So drivers have got to think now on their feet, really, and think aloud what they're going to do in terms of the strategy. What this does do, though, is obviously back up the pack. Chris and Ryan have got 3-second penalties, I do believe, as well. Or Chris has actually got 5 seconds worth of penalties, I think, for maybe a collision, which we didn't see. And Ryan has got 3 seconds worth of penalties, which I think is just a corner cutting penalty. So I'm not sure what Chris got the 5-second penalty for. Did he, by any chance, speed under the safety car? I wonder.
He might have, yeah. As all people actually in the pit, Jensen. Wow,
that's the last person I thought would be coming in the pits.
And I really want to see now, because Lou on those hards, I think he has a far better strategy than Jensen, because the same goes for Macho. Going on those mediums is, of course, Macho also in the pits, probably going to a new set of mediums then, the same as Jensen. But yeah, I don't know why Jensen did this, because those mediums, they may make it to the end of the race, but it's going to be very difficult, and Lou on those hards just needs one late safety car and he will be in a big tire advantage.
I think he's done that thinking that people would come into the pit lane behind him, and in the end it's worked out absolutely perfectly for him, because he's only lost, what, 1 position out on track, maybe 2 positions out on track. He's behind 0, his teammates ahead of him. Perfect news for the Fantarry team in terms of their fight for constructors. Obviously, Macho's down there in 12th position. He's going to catch back up on the likes of Bunty. He's already went on that set of medium compound tyres as well. So if there's another safety car out on track, and if it's actually earlier than expected, say around lap 8, lap 9 is when the safety car will come out, Jensen has got to think aloud what he does in terms of the strategy, because the hards will go 13 laps to the end of the race, even though he's already committed on that tyre. So if he hasn't got a spare set of hard compound tyres, he's therefore not going to be on the fresher tyre, and therefore he might just be out of ideas when it comes to another safety car if that does happen. And I'm not saying it will happen. Do you know what? It probably will. As actually, Ryan backs Chris up into the back of Charlie there. I'm not sure if that was a penalty. I think he was just braking under the safety car and keeping 10 car lengths. But Lou leads the way. Hecky in second, Waterman in third, Zero in fourth. Jensen, I completely understand. Short term, this is going to work out absolutely perfectly for him, because I wouldn't be surprised if 3 laps under the safety car restart, he will lead the race on that sort of medium compound tyres. But the other side of me is like, well, why has he came into the pit lane, gone for a set of mediums, and what about if there's another safety car? That is what he is running. He is pretty much running with fire at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, I know Jensen is probably one of the fastest, maybe the fastest guy around here. Of course, he has made a good comeback also for now. And on those mediums, he just needs to get past Lou in the quickest time he can and drive away. And I do think I don't know if it's true, if you don't have qualifying, that you can choose the set of tires you want, because if they all have chosen the hard set of tires, which they probably all have done, they should all have an extra set of mediums and hards.
Well, to be honest, it doesn't really matter because we're in a fresh lobby, so it doesn't really matter what tyres they're going to be on. They're going to be fresh anyways. But yeah, I mean, I get your point. I totally understand. And obviously, it was the first lobby, and obviously it was the race that we should have had if Klein didn't join and then cause us to restart and then cause all of the mess that proceeded. Jensen, I think, would be in a much worse off position in that lobby compared to what he is in now, because everyone obviously has got a fresh Compana tyre. Everyone can now, of course, try and go to the end of the race on that Compana tyre, but Jensen will have to make another stop before the end. He cannot make 16 laps of mediums go around this track. The last man that I saw do this was... who was it? It was yesterday in PSF2, and I'm not sure who it was. I can't think of the life of me who it might have been, but they went 16, 17 laps on a set of medium Compana tyres. We had a VSC in that race as well. They ended up getting a puncture and finishing out the points.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was also O'Stephen yesterday who had a puncture in the end of the race. So I hope for Jensen's sake that he can get these mediums till the end of the race if there isn't going to be another safety car.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, speaking of the current safety car, the current safety car is now coming in this lap. So, virtual Bert Malander is now Lou. He is now the virtual safety car out on track. He can dictate the pace whatever he likes to. And under the safety car restart that we had in PSF2 last night as well, which was around 4 or 5 laps before the end of the race, obviously the drivers went through Blanchimont, pretty much floored it out of Blanchimont into the bus stop chicane. Is that place where is Lou gonna go for the restart on the safety car? I think it will be personally, because he's in the lead, he's dictating the pace, and he's keeping it at a very steady level, which is good to see. And if he keeps it at this level and then floors it coming out of Blanchimont, then he means business for the rest of the lap.
Yeah, I really want to see. I mean, he isn't going to be
he's gone.
late, but he's already gone. Yes, there he goes. And Keki, he has been. I mean, he has been a bit sleeping, but Watermelon, he is right behind Keki now.
Oh, and speaking of sleepy, Zabel's gone well too deep into the bus stop chicane as well. We're back under green flag racing, and Jensen can't pass until the safety car line, but he might just have to, crossing the line in towards turn number 1. Zabel lets him through, and Ivor's on the outside line as well, trying to defend in towards turn number 1 is the Finn. Lulo gets a perfect restart. He's a second clear of Keki. Watermelon in third. Huge snap of oversteer in the background from Ryan, who just about keeps that car in a straight line. Ivor and Zabel nearly side by side in towards the Rouge and Radion. They just come out of it on the other side of it nicely, and now Ivor's right on the back of Zabel, when the wingman for the AlphaTauri team has got to try and play wingman here at this point, because Ivor is going to try and go all the way around the outside until they come chicane. Zabel on the inside line is going to give absolutely no room whatsoever, and that is perfect defending from Zabel. He keeps Ivor behind, and Jensen there in fourth is already getting on with things, and he's closed 0.3 of a second just coming out of Malmedy alone.
Yeah, and this is what Jensen exactly needs. Ivo, I mean, Zero is defending for his life right here, and Jensen needs to get the position on Watermelon, probably next lap, and then after that try to close the gap to Keki and Liu, and Liu is already 1.3 seconds ahead of Keki.
Yeah, definitely so, and Liu, obviously, as you say, 1.4 seconds now ahead of Keki. Keki maybe struggling slightly. Look at how quick Jensen is on the back of Watermelon already. Watermelon, he might have had a good restart, but Jensen is going to get this move done coming through Blanchimont. I am absolutely feeling this as a yellow flag through the middle sector. I think that's toying that is fun. Now, round the outside goes Jensen and towards Blanchimont. This is not a move you see lightly, and Jensen breezes past him round the outside. Beautiful stuff. That is the difference between a class driver and a good driver right there. Jensen 30s into third, Watermelon in fourth, and in the background a shot, Pelly running side by side, going all the way around the outside, and Charlie was way too deep and might lose position to Macho here if he's not careful. Macho does indeed get through. Pelly went too deep into the apex, and now Menchie C and Tom right on the back of him down and towards turn 1. Tom, by the way, on a set of hard Compana tyres. Pelly nearly locks up into his teammate, and Tom through, Bunty through, Rocco through, towing out of the shape at the back of the field, but Pelly there in 15th gets out of the way of everyone, which is good to see, is Ryan on the back of Ivo.
Yeah, he is, but Ryan, of course, he has that penalty, so that's really unfortunate for him, but here on the outside, easily before Jesus Christ. On camel straight, and he is into P6 and 0. He is holding up Ryan and Ivo big time here.
He is. He's been the perfect wingman, as I was saying to the likes of Machos going side by side with Charlie and was already through. Absolutely sent it on the brakes in towards Bruxelles. Should come out on the other side of it in front, and he does indeed. Torna Scum once again coming to Normandy corner at the top of the hill. Macho now doing he's into P9, and yeah, Ryan on the back of Zero. Zero is being the perfect wingman at this stage. He's there in 5th position. They're doing an absolutely fantastic job. Ryan there in 6th position is obviously on the back of these guys as well. As Charlie makes a see it interchanging positions, coming through the right-hander of the Fanny chicane, now to the left-hander of the Fanny chicane. Makes see gets Charlie after a mistake, I think, coming out of P1. Makes see through and he's into 10th, and Charlie is struggling on those mediums. I wonder if he's got a bit of existential damage from earlier on in the race.
Yeah, he could have, but looking at Tom, who is also racing by Charlie, that Tom and Macho in P9 and P11, they really need to make some moves. As Chris also behind Ivo into the bus stop chicane, round a bit of contact there. Ivo still hanging only outside, and he's actually ahead of him.
And Macho will have to try and get the switch back coming out of the bus stop chicane. Didn't work for him because Chris was parked on the apex, and Macho was so deep on the brakes he nearly outdoes himself, and MTC up the inside of him. We're going to try and make it side by side down towards Rouge and Radion, but they don't come quite close enough. As Jensen on the back of Keki coming out of a Rouge and Radion, who said Belgium was boring. Lou leads the way, Keki in second, but for how long? Here comes Jensen, rampaging on the back of the championship leader to the inside line, gets the job done, in towards Lake Home. Jensen through and he's into second. Ryan is getting past Zero as well, finally, and also 3 wide nearly down the straight as MTC all out of shape, spins by himself. I'm not sure if he made contact there with the rear end of Chris, might have sent him round. If not, it was the curb, if not, it was himself. MTC though, down in 15th position. All of that hard work and all of that moves being made down the straight on Chris. For what? He's down in 15th.
Yeah, I think he just outbraked himself and hit the back of Chris, so that was very unfortunate for MTC. Just outbraked himself. But look at Jensen and look at the ERS percentage of Jensen compared to Lou. He has almost double of Lou's ERS, and now he's already within 7/10.
Yeah, 28% or 25%. Purple middle sector as well from Jensen. He's pulling away from Keki as Pelly has spun out of the race, coming through Campos, or just before Campos. And that is a second safety car. And that is a James Head prediction that has gone completely right. Because I said 3-4 laps into the race that we might get a safety car again. From Jensen's perspective, is this good? He's into the pit lane, which is exactly what he didn't want. He'll be going on that set of hard compound tyres. Of course, he will have that fresh set of hards as Lou, I think. What on earth happened there coming into the pit lane? I'm not sure if he crashed into the wall on the left-hand side, or if he's just completely desynced and lost the position to Jensen on the race, or on the lead of the race. Oh my God, Macho stays out. He leads the way, by the way. Jensen in second, Lou in third. And Lou is probably thinking to himself, what the hell has gone on there?
I need to see this back. I need to see this back on the stream. I don't know what happened.
It's almost as if it's almost as if his car, I'm not sure if he sped into the pit lane. If he was, has the car stopped him from going over the speed limit and picking up a penalty? Because that is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I'm looking at Lou's stream like right now. Let me have a look.
I'd love to hear his opinion of it as well.
Huh?
What on earth? It's literally his car has just stopped on the exit, on the entrance into the pit lane. It's literally like that.
I mean, I got Lou's reaction. It's literally, huh? That's it. That's it. Reaction. But yeah, he just stopped. As you said, on the pit entry and ghosted. I mean, I don't know what happened.
I've seen my fair share of glitches around here in Belgium in my 10 years of league racing commentary, but I have seen nothing on the scale of that. Lou, if he doesn't win this race, I'm going to put him P1 myself, because that is honestly robbery in the finest form.
And wait, what happened with Charlie? What? Did he?
Yeah, Charlie at the race as well. I didn't see that.
He's saying at CPI Bunty nice, so...
Oh dear.
Does that
hang
mean
on.
Bunty...
He has crashed coming out of a Rouge and Radio, top of the hill.
Oh.
And him and Bunty... Charlie was nowhere near Bunty, actually. Nowhere near him, so I think he's crashed by himself, but I wonder if it goes back to glitch with Lou in the pit lane. I wonder if there's not an effect from that. That's what my thinking is.
Yeah, but this is really unfortunate for Lou. I mean, we know that he was in probably the best position for everyone. So, I mean, he can still take it back. Of course, he just has to be faster than Jensen. And I mean, if he shows some good pace on his good day, he can do that.
Yeah, Lou definitely has got to show his pace now. Obviously, he's recovering from that foot injury as well. He's probably got whatever foot it is that's been giving him that absolute jet now off, I think, his steering or his wheel and his setup. Probably giving it a little bit of a rest. Underneath that safety car, probably the best thing to do, I think, at this point. We are still in the yellow flag racing, still under the safety car at this stage. Matcher leads the way, Jensen second, Lou there in third. I've just asked Charlie what happened because I didn't see that on the stream. I only saw his car stationary at the top of a Rouge and Radion on the replay, so I don't know what's happened there. On my screen, certainly, Bunty was about 0.5 per second ahead of Charlie, and then Charlie lost it, I think, by himself, even though MTC was behind him. So I'm not sure. Answers on postcard, please. Charlie is saying, actually, Bunty hit him on the entrance into the pit lane. Okay. And Charlie's done by himself.
That's... That could be something that the stewards might be looking at. But yeah, for now, it's Macho who has stayed out on those old mediums.
Yeah, he has. And is he hoping for another safety car, do you think? Because in my eyes, I can see this vision of Macho leading the race onto like the final lap of the race, and then his tyres go. That's what I could imagine right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end, if there's not going to be any safety car, he will be on 18 lap old mediums.
He will be on 18 lap old mediums, and well, this is going to be the big test because the safety car now in this lap, Macho has got to try and hope, I think, to be the best possible person he can be at this stage. He's got his championship rival behind him, and I never thought I'd say this in the Belgian Grand Prix. He's got his championship rival behind him, in there in second position. Macho has got a 40-odd point deficit, I think, coming into tonight. Jensen there in second behind him, on 5-lap fresher mediums. He has had absolute wretched-looking qualifying. Is this now the turn where he decides to go and win the Belgian Grand Prix? As already Macho was gone. Even before Blanchimont, I knew he would do that, to be honest. He has to try and get every 10th of a second on this restart to get ahead of Jensen. He's going to be on warmer tyres as well. But look at this, Jensen's already on the back rim, coming out of the bus stop chicane. Beautiful helicopter cam, by the way, on board as we come now down in towards turn number 1. Macho leads the way, Jensen in second, Lou there in third. Tom right on the back of Ivo, by the way, in the background. Looks to the inside line of La Source, tries to get the job done to the inside line in the Red Bull. Ferrari on the outside line, Tom ahead, doing into 9th position. Beautiful stuff. And now back to the front because it's Yazoo teammate Jensen right on the back for the race lead.
Yeah, let's see here on Camel Straight, what can Jensen do? He has a bit of more overspeed, but it's not enough for now. He's using a lot of the press.
Yeah, he's going to wait. He's going to wait in behind on the back of Macho, maybe force him into an error. Side by side as well between Chris and Zavo in towards Lacombe. And Chris just about gets out on top. Zavo there in 8th, Tom there in 9th. And Tom actually gets to switch back to perfection. Out from the outside line, coming through Lacombe. Boom, Almady, job done. Zavo all out of shape. And Zavo again all out of shape because he's got Ivo darting it down the inside line. And he certainly doesn't want a Rocco down the inside of him either, because Rocco is certainly going to be up for this. Looks to the outside line, coming through Jackie Hicks and doesn't get the job done. He's out of shape. And now, mate, TC and Rocco coming through each other together in towards Puon. And Rocco spun by himself on the outside curb, and that, unfortunately, I think was inevitable, and Rocco's actually in the wall. Might be another safety car if that is the case. And Macho still leads the way, Jensen in second, Lou in third, but Jensen on the back of Macho, still hunting him around, on the back coming through Bluntman, back to green flag racing, no safety car off that instant with Rocco, but side by side into P1 really doesn't go for MedCC and Rocco. Rocco, to be fair, incites that on himself because he's moving across the MedCC. Here comes Jensen now on the back of Macho to the outside line, into all the bus stop chicane. He's so late on the brakes, can he get the car stopped? The Fantarry down the inside line, absolutely cannons into the side of Macho on the inside line of him, and now they're side by side coming out of the bus stop chicane down in towards the source. Macho's not going to give this one up lightly to the inside line. In the end, he does though. Jensen takes the lead, Macho in second, Lou in third, and do you know what I think that he's done that for? Keki's running behind these guys.
Yeah, and I mean, Jensen, he can now try and drive away from Macho and especially Lou. And Lou, he needs to make this move on Macho within maybe 1 or 2 laps because that would be very crucial for the lead of the race.
He will, but Macho could easily let Lou pass and then bring Keki into play and give him the slipstream, and that's exactly what Keki, I think, would want at this stage. He's got a more than a second gap to Watermelon. Doesn't have to worry about the Ferrari at this stage. MedCC, by the way, I think is side by side with Arville coming out of Malmedy on the run down in towards Bruxelles. Doesn't get the job done though on the back. Still 11-11, Arville there in 10th. Bunty there in 12th position. Still Adel a point at this stage for Bunty, Spinty, Spunky, whatever you like to call him at this stage. Jensen leads the way. Macho in second, Lou there in third, Keki there in fourth, and Keki actually, I'll come back to your point in about 30 seconds, because I think Keki is quicker than Lou, and Keki is quicker than Macho, so surely Macho does the double, let Keki through, let Lou through, and then them two can battle out for second, with Watermelon now inside of a second.
Yeah, Watermelon, he is losing a lot of pace, but Keki, I mean, Lou is now 4 tenths behind Macho, and look at Macho, he's already 1.2 seconds behind Jensen, so this could be a very easy win for Jensen if he can keep this pace up.
Lou's good into the braking zone though, the bus stop chicane, he's still on the back of him, coming out of the bus stop, down and towards turn number 1 again at the source. This time though, DRS will be enabled, so Lou on the back, he's 2 into the back of him, Macho sent round, and Keki's on the inside line, it's sandwich effect coming through, he's still cornered him, Lou has spun, look at he's waiting up for him, Macho there is still in 10th. Somehow they've came out of that rather unscathed after a really, really horrible incident. Macho there in 12th, Lou in 13th, fair play to Lou. I think all of that in the end was on him, too late on the brakes, in towards the source, got caught up on the back there of of Macho. Macho got sent round, good sportsmanship shown there from Lou, that's what we want to see more of in FRL because, honestly, that is what I like to see, sportsmanship over track position any day of the week. That was perfect from Lou.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that especially after what we've been through today with all the chaos. Yeah, but yeah, it was Lou's fault. We cannot say anything else, and he's also ghosted on my end.
Yeah, he's an AI. He's an AI.
Yeah.
He is an AI, but what this has done, Mr. Yuri, is somehow bring my championship, contender for the win into play here. Tom on the back of Ryan, 5th position, on the back of Ryan, looking for 4th, closing in very nicely indeed in towards Blanchemont. And do you know what? He's going to get this job done. Maybe not the inside of Blanchemont. Tom with absolute overspeed to perfection. Nearly puts Ryan on the outside curve. Too much from out Ryan on the outside curve there. Might get that 3-second penalty removed. What he doesn't do though is get Tom in toward the braking zone because that is Tom's move every day of the week. He's doing his into 4th. That was absolutely blinding perfect on Tom. He's doing his into 4th. Ryan in 5th, but Ryan has got a case there. He will look to get that 3-second penalty removed because he will say Tom forced him off track. And do you know what? I think he did, even though they were side by side until Blanchemont.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan can get that removed if he doesn't get another warning. But looking here, MedCC at the back of Chris, onto Camelcade, and I think yeah, it's an easy overtake from MedCC into P6, and now Tom, he has to close the gap to Watermelon as we all see yellow flag. So
yeah, somebody cut you off, Macho there, spinning coming through Rouge and Radion. MTC down, up into 6th position. Chris Clare down into 7th as well. And MTC, to be fair, he might have the backbone of an iron board at this stage, obviously with the gym transformation that he's going through at this stage. As Chris, my God, has a huge moment coming out of Jackie Ick's corner. Scared the living daylights out of me, that's for sure. Chris there in 7th. I don't know how he kept that car in a straight line. I think it might have been lag, potentially. But MTC in 6th, Chris there in 7th, and Zero and Gunty having a big fight for 8th and 9th position there, the closest battle out on track at this stage as well. Jensen now dominant, 3 seconds down in front. Evil Duke, I think, has put it correctly. His dominance is too boring, but I throw this to you guys in the comment section. I don't think Jensen has been that dominant in this race. He's had to work for this.
Yeah, he definitely had. And I'm looking in Discord by the way. Lou saying, "Thanks, Macho. First break test, then this." So.
Oh no. We don't want more drama on top of more drama on top of more drama because it'll just end up like an episode of EastEnders. Tom, though, on the back of Watermelon, not going to add more fire to the fuel as Tom is on the back of the Red Bull, or the Red Bull. He's in the Red Bull, on the back of the Ferrari, and this is looking damn sight easy down the straight, down the Kemmel straight. This should be easy for Tom. He breezes into the podium positions as if he doesn't really give a damn. Probably he doesn't, to be honest. Tom there in 3rd, Watermelon in 4th, and now Keki ahead of him is going to prove a more physical moving object compared to obviously Keki, compared to obviously Watermelon there, because that was easy from Tom's perspective. Tom now and Keki, I've seen these guys fight before, I've seen these guys fight cleanly before, and it's normally a very good sight to witness. There's a yellow flag, and that is for Toyn, who is still in 11th, just outside of the points, still going, even though I think he's spun about 6 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see him going. I mean, you never know. Ivo, Bunty, Zero, Chris might, one of them might crash or spin. So you never know. But yeah, Tom, he is 4 tenths, 5 tenths behind Keki. And to be fair, James, I don't know if you think the same, but if Tom can make the move on Keki, I don't know if he can gain 4 or close the gap in 4 seconds to Jensen.
No, but there's another yellow flag. Toyn has spun again. That I think was the 7th time, maybe the 8th time now, as his yellow flag still coming through Campos' corner. But if Toyn crashes out the race, and there's another safety car in this race, this opens it up completely, and this might just be the move that Tom needs on the back of Keki to try and get the job done. Obviously, Jensen is not going to wait at 4 seconds because that'll be, well, not downright disgraceful, but obviously they're both in the same team. I prefer to see a Jensen-Tom fight over anything else that has happened in this race. But Tom there on the back of Keki, just looking absolutely easy. He's came into this race with literally 1 lap of practice. That was the lap he did in qualifying, and he didn't get it on the board. And now he's on the back of Keki fighting out for P2, and this has just been an absolutely brilliant drive from Tom. Even with the carnage, Tom is doing his into 2nd. He got caught up, by the way, in a lap 1 instant and was down, I think, in 16th position. Tom now is in 2nd position and looking to score maybe one of his finest podiums in FRL.
Yeah, and look at the top 2, by the way, Jensen and Tom, the 2 guys starting at the back of the grid. Look at the 2 guys who are now in P12 and P13, last on the grid. It's the guys who started first and second on the grid. So the tables have turned. I think that's Toyn who.
Oh, he's out of the race! He's out of the race. Is that a safety car? I saw a crash in F2 last night in PSGL, and yeah, that wasn't a safety car then. And I don't think there's going to be a safety car there either. And in fact, I think he's retired out on track. He has. Yeah. Toyn has retired out on track.
So, yeah, I don't know if Stewards will look into that as Zero gets a 3-second time penalty. So that will mean that Ivo for now still gets P9.
Yeah, Ivo will still get P9. And actually, Ryan has got those penalties, remember, as well. He's got 6 seconds worth of penalties, and it's not too far off 6 seconds, I think, between Ryan and Ivo. I think it's about, actually, no, it's about 8 seconds, isn't it? Looking at the gap to the leader, it is 6.9, 14.8, yeah, it's about 8 seconds the gap, so ignore my GCSE math skills right there. Jensen leads the way, Tom in 2nd. Jensen on a real history maker here because he can take 6 out of the first 7 wins in FRL this season. Keki, though, is not going to give Tom an easy time, that is for sure, and neither is MedTC. On the back of Ryan, down the Kemmel straight, I don't think he's going to get the job done. He's lacking in ERS down the straight as well. MedTC there in 6th position, Ryan there in 5th. Keki, though, very close back of Tom, in toward Lake Holm. Doesn't get the job done through there. Jensen still leads, Tom in 2nd, Keki in 3rd. With 4 laps to go, or 4.5 laps to go in this race. Macho and Lou having their own private squabble at the back of the field as well. Macho there through and he's into P11. Lou there down in P12 as well. As judging by the time that we've got at this moment in time, I have a feeling interviews are going to be cancelled tonight because I probably want to see these guys go to sleep rather than anything else.
Yeah, I think we won't do. I mean, if we do interview, we might only interview Jensen, Tom, and Keki, the top 3.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. I have to wait and see. Obviously, my voice is going as well, so. And Love Island's coming on, which is a big, big fan over here in the UK. Love Island coming on, which I'm sure people do want to watch. Anyways, somebody that might be on season 10 of Love Island. MedTC on the back of Ryan. They're in 6th position. On the back there of the Brit, and Ryan is doing a good job there in 5th, QRT man. He has kept his nose relatively clean in this race. MedTC has done exactly the same, even though he nearly brake tested his teammate in towards turn 1 a few laps ago. MedTC, though, on the back of Ryan, they're going to try and get the job done. And all of that muscle that he's built up at the gym is going to be for what now? Because he's there in 6th, doing a good job, on the back of Ryan, and in the end, he's got no ERS, which is not going to help him at all.
No, but I mean, MedTC, wasn't he lost?
Oh, Bunty's trying to cut you off! Oh my god, there's nearly a crash down the straight between Bunty and Chris in towards Lake Holm. Chris broke so early coming in towards Lake Holm. Sorry to cut you off there. But Bunty, as soon as he's into 70, he absolutely dived it to the inside line. But honestly, it almost looked like to me, Bunty moved across on Chris, even though Chris braked early. And I think it was more reactionary than anything else. Bunty is very lucky to have not gone into the back of Chris there, and Chris vice versa with him, because that could have ended in tragedy. Yeah,
and I mean, for Jensen, I don't think he wants a safety car right now as Lou. I think, is it still as AI? I don't think it is, as he pitted to softs.
Macho's had the race! And there's still enough time for a safety car, and it is a safety car! It is a safety car! Oh my god! Belgian Grand Prix, do not tune out just yet. Jensen leads the way, has got to come in for a set of softs, surely. Yeah, he's in. To the pit lane, on a set of soft compounder tyres. Oh my god. Tom in 2nd, Keki stays out. Keki stays out. An interesting call from the Mercedes man. The Haas of Ryan also stays out, and I think Chris is staying out as well. They are going for track position more than anything. Ivo was the only other one that stays out as well, so there's 4 drivers staying out. On this 2nd to lap, or 3rd last lap even, Keki, I thought wasn't going to be caught by the safety car there, but he is. Keki still leads, Ryan in 2nd, Chris in 3rd, and Jensen came out the pit lane ahead of Ivo. On a set of soft compounder tyres, Tom is behind Ivo coming out the pit lane. And this race has just taken a completely different turn.
Yeah, and I don't know, I was on board with Macho and I don't really know what happened there. Because it was a bit of a weird crash. I might want to see that back, because it looked really weird. But Jensen, before, the 3 positions behind Keki.
Let's have a look. Where did Macho crash actually? He crashed top of the hill. Crashed at the top of the hill, and I think he's got caught out of shape coming out of Lake Holm. And if he's got caught out of shape coming out of Lake Holm, I think he's took the outside curb and he's gone pretty much trying to recover the car one way. It's gone the other, and then he's ended up, I think, off in the gravel, which I have seen done before. And normally, when that crash happens, normally it isn't good. And Macho was off track when he crashed, but the game thinks he was on track, and it's a safety car out on track and Macho out of the race. Now actually could mean Lou might just get a point or 2.
I mean, I don't think so. I actually don't think so, because safety car is going in this lap, and Liu isn't going to be on time, I think.
Yeah, looking... Uh, Charlie was saying his wishing the race was just cancelled. The safety car is in this lap, and Liu is actually out of the session, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So he is not in the session at all. And Keki now virtual Burman and now virtual safety car. We're going to get a 2-lap Wacky Racers sort of race right to the checkered flag. Keki now virtual Burmalander. He's now the virtual safety car. Well, I don't know what's going to happen in these final 2 laps. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, Jensen, he has 2 laps without DRS to get in front of Chris, Ryan, and Keki.
He's got full ERS, but then again, so has everyone else. But he's got 10 lap pressure tyres compared to everyone else as well. So Jensen is there, and Keki goes, coming out of Blanchimont. A huge snap from Ryan, I think, gets caught in the backwash, and now Chris and Jensen obviously can't overtake until they're at the safety car line. Tom, though, is going to try and anyways go for the outside move coming through, and he's still got to try and wait until that safety car line to try and get the move done, as MTC's being caught, I think, by Bunty in the background as well. So Bunty, again, getting caught up into, but Jensen is through. Chris led him through there, I think, in towards turn 1. Pretty much fair play. But it looks like now, I'm just going to call it now, it looks like it's between Keki and Jensen for this race win. Keki leads 1.5 seconds. Ryan in second is holding them up, an absolute treat. Jensen now on the back has got to try and get this job done. This is going to be absolutely crucial for the race win here. Jensen now is into second, squeezes past Ryan, and now it's game on. 1.5 seconds though, Keki has got the gap.
Yeah, Jensen, he is closing a lot now. He's already within 1.3 seconds, and I do think, James, that Jensen can try it on camel straight.
Beautiful move by Tom. Sorry to cut you off there, but Tom is through down the inside line in towards Bruxelles of all places. Job done. He's into fourth, and do you know what? He's going to get the inside in towards P1 as well. 2 for 1 and as many corners. Tom to the inside line. Absolutely remarkable. Through and he's into third. He's not entirely out of this race either. Jensen there is only 4/10 of a second off. I think that's Bunty in the background spun through P1. Keki leads the way. Jensen there in second. It's now a straight-up fight between these two, and it might not even be a straight-up fight because Jensen is on the back coming out of Stavilo. Purple middle sector now has got the sail right in between his legs. The AlphaTauri on the inside line of the Mercedes. The Mercedes are going to cut him off though at the pass. And so far, Keki hangs firm. Jensen has got to wait his turn, and he's got to wait until the bus stop chicane to get the move done. Round the outside he goes, on the AlphaTauri. Surely he's got the legs on the tyres to get the job done. He has indeed. Jensen through, and he's into lead, but Keki comes back at him on the exit of the bus stop chicane. Doesn't quite get the job done, but Jensen now is in the prime spot to take the race win. As I said earlier on, he hasn't had his own way here tonight. Jensen leads the way, Keki in second, but it's whether or not Keki can keep second because Tom is flying at these guys.
Yeah, Tom, I mean, he really needs to make this move. Did somebody just crash in the background? No.
Was it? No, you're fine.
But yeah, Tom, he is losing a lot of time here on Camel Straight, but he needs to make the move probably into the bus stop chicane if he wants to get P2.
I think it'll come down towards Blanchimont. I think it'll be towards Blanchimont because Tom has got to put now that set of soft compound tyres into working through this middle sector. There's more corners in this middle sector, so that's why I'm saying Blanchimont, probably the time and the place. He had so much pace last time around as well, down in towards Puon. This time around, Keki keeps him obvious and keeps him at bay. Now, maybe into the Fanya chicane? Possibly from Tom, he's too far back, I think. Jensen is escaping up the road, but still, in second, this battle rages on between Keki and Tom. Keki is going to get a podium no matter what happens, I think, in this race, unless Tom just rear-ends him and they crash, and they nearly do through Stavilo, coming in towards Stavilo. Now through Stavilo, and Tom has got to go for this move. It is make or break for second position from the Shazoo man. Jensen leads the way. He has got this race run wrapped up, but Tom is having to use up every single amount of that battery. Side by side with Watermelon and Ryan in the background as well. Tom is going to have to do this around the outside. Keki defends to the middle of the line. He goes too deep. Tom switches under. Jensen to the line will take the win in Belgium. But Tom gets second position round the final corner. Keki all out of shape will get third. Jensen takes the win. Fastest lap of the race does go to him as well. Tom there in second. My word, he had to fight for that second position. Insane from Tom. Keke all out of shape. And do you know what? If he wasn't all out of shape, I think Tom would have got him anyways. Brilliant fighting from Keke. Brilliant driving attribution. And do you know what? If there was another lap, I would have liked to see it all over again.
Yeah, I mean, that was an amazing move from Tom. I actually didn't expect it, but I already saw, yeah, Keke, he was just too late on the brakes into the bus stop chicane, and that was one of the best moves, probably on the last corner of the last lap to get P2. So brilliant racing from the top three. Yeah, I think this is also a podium that we could have expected, especially after or before the safety car.
And I've also just been informed, I'm not sure how reliable this information is, considering the person it actually came from. Apparently it's Jensen's birthday today as well, I've just been told. Jensen, if it is your birthday, happy birthday, first and foremost, but what a birthday present that could be. Jensen takes the win here in Belgium. After all the controversy, after all the drama, it came down to this, and it came down in the end to Jensen winning the race, and in the end, he did not have that his own way for any stretch, apart from that bit where he was, 4-5 seconds ahead for around 4 or 5 laps in the race. That's the only bit he was dominant. Jensen had to work for that one. After P15, out on track in qualifying, he takes the race win. Tom there in second, 17th up the second. I think I got the first two mixed up, but I don't care. It's still a first two for me. Keke there in third, drove his heart out, left everything on the line to finish there in third. Watermelon in fourth with MedTC, who apparently is Welsh there in fifth. Chris there in sixth from 18th on the grid, drove very well. Ivo in seventh, Zero in eighth, Ryan in ninth. And Bunsey somehow picks up a point in the top 10. Whether or not that stays remains to be seen. Lou there in 11th. Macho there in 12th. Toyn in 13th. Rocco in 14th. These are all the DNFs, by the way. Lou, Macho, who was a lap down actually in the end. Macho, Toyn, Rocco, Charlie, Pelly, Chip Sponsor, Marco and Slinky. In the end, the two reserves that actually did not race in the first lobby, in the end, one of them finished and one of them DNF'd on the first lap.
Yeah, and I don't know, Jen. Personally, I don't want to go and do the interviews as my game crashed. So that's really lucky then that it happened right now.
It is very lucky. So, do you not want to do the interviews?
I don't know. I mean, it depends if the drivers want to do it, but I don't know if you want to do it.
Personally, I think after all the fallout that I think is going to now happen after this race, it's probably best not to, because there might be a few things that you might hear on stream that is probably not for the viewing eye. So I will take it there, I will leave it there, and obviously we will go not to the interviews, but to the calendar. And the calendar now says, of course, it is the Dutch Grand Prix, 23rd of 23rd. I was going to say 23rd of March, 23rd of January, even for Netherlands next week. 24th, of course, if you're for FRL F1. And the Netherlands next week, Yuri. What can the drivers look forward to?
Well, it is, of course, a very short circuit, and there's not a lot of room for mistakes, of course. When you make a mistake, you can easily go onto the grass, of course, on one of those deadly curbs in Sector 2. So, yeah, it is a very tricky and technical circuit, but it's also very fun, especially for the qualifying.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And obviously, with Singapore coming out that week, another wonder I might be leaving before then. Certainly when Singapore comes along, that's for sure. Netherlands there in 7th. But I just want to thank every single one of you.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT
no what your
Omega,
opinions were of how
proudly supporting
PSGL. How we might have actually attributed ourselves afterwards. It was fantastic, I think, to watch though the racing, the pure audacity out on track for these guys to obviously deliver, even though they got kept waiting, even though we got kept waiting as well in the comms box. It was a very, very strong race in the end. Certainly made me lose my voice. That's why we're not doing any interviews tonight. But I hope you guys did enjoy that. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course. Tick that notification, of course, if you're brand new as well to the channel. We are going to be back with you next week, of course, in the Netherlands. But for myself and from Yuri, thank you so much for watching.